going on, guys? It's Kaiba and I'm finally bringing you my Kaiju-Maju Deck Profile. Now, as you know, as I posted on my Instagram and on Facebook, I did top locals with this build. I got first place, went undefeated in all 4 rounds, so I'm here to share it with you guys, and I hope you guys like it. So the locals was 16 people, obviously came first place. I had some easy matchups and I had some difficult matchups. First round was against Ignister, which I took the round 2-0. Second round was against Zefra, which again I took the round 2-0. And then round 3 is where things started getting a bit tricky. I came up against Zombie Eldlich, which we took it to game 3, and luckily I took the win 2-1. And then the final was against Virtual World, and I took the game 2-0. But quickly, guys, before we begin, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you check out my Instagram page, as that's where I put polls to see what deck profiles you guys want me to bring next. So thank you, guys. Here we go. So this is a 46 card build, guys. I've had Danger Maju builds in the past where I was playing 40 cards, and due to me playing Gizmek Orochi, Pot of Desires, I would just lose to decking out sometimes. So I've bumped it up to 46. This deck has honestly performed so well, and it's possibly my favorite Maju variant by far. So you guys know I'm usually a Maju stun player, so I switched on to the Danger side to try an OTK. So it's performed really well. As I said, got first place at locals this past weekend, and 2 weeks ago I believe I came in 3rd or 2nd place, I don't remember. But so yeah, it's done really well, guys. So let's get started now. All right, so starting with the main deck, guys, we're playing 3 Grand Maju. Basically, he's our OTK. You want to fuel him as much as you can to make him into a big beat stick, and then just OTK your opponent. So 3 Grand Maju. We're playing 3 Gizmek Orochi. Again, he's fuel for our Maju, so you want to summon him. I usually wait till my opponent is going to end his turn, and then I activate his effect, and then bring him on. So when it's my turn, I can then trigger the second effect to banish 3 from the extra deck and pop a card on the field. And also, you really want to use him with trade-in, as you can basically trigger his effect from grave as well. Or when you've got Dangerous in hand, keep him in your hand, so if he gets discarded, you can still trigger him from grave. So 3 Gizmek Orochi. We're playing the 3 Alpha. This card's really good, as again, it's a level 8, it's a big beat stick, and it's a going second deck, so your opponent's definitely going to control more monsters than you, and you're going to be able to special summon him. I haven't summoned him as much, honestly, but when the chances come up, he's won me matches, so I think he's really good in this deck. So 3 Alpha. Alright, so for our Danger lineup, we're playing, of course, 3 Bigfoot. You guys know how much I love Dangers. We're playing 3 Thunderbird, and we're playing the 1 Mothman. Thunderbird and Bigfoot, they're the best Dangers out there. Big beat sticks. Thunderbird pops a set back row. Bigfoot pops a face-up card your opponent controls. And with Mothman, we really want that draw 1 discard effect, as we can discard one of our Dangers, or we can just get rid of our Gizmek if we didn't draw anything good. Your opponent does draw a card from Mothman if he gets discarded, but then again, he also has to discard 1, so he's really there just to add a bit more consistency to us, to our hand, in case we've bricked. But that's very rare in this deck, so that's why I absolutely love this deck. It's very consistent. For our Kaijus, we're playing the 1 Flame Kaiju, we're playing 3 Godarla, and we're playing, of course, 3 Turtle Boy. We're playing Kaiju Slumber in this build, so the Flame Kaiju was the last edition, last minute, because I would always play Pot of Desires, or I'd activate Gizmek Orochi, and then either all 3 turtles or all 3 Just Kaiju would get banished, and then I couldn't trigger or activate Kaiju Slumber. So he's just there as an extra Kaiju with a different name. And I mean, all of these are level 8, so you can use them as trade-in material. You can overlay them to go into your XYZ plays. And let's remember that you want to give your opponent the weakest Kaiju. So if you draw these 2, you're giving him Turtle. If you're drawing these 2, you're giving him Dust Kaiju. So that's our Kaiju lineup. For hand traps, we could say, we're playing the one Pankatrops. This is a going second deck, so if you manage to draw into Pankatrops, you can summon him, pop a card, or just swing. And then we're playing the two Nibiru, which weirdly, I'm playing 2 copies in the main deck. And for the round against Zefra, I managed to draw him, hard drew him, and basically it won me both matches as I Nibiru'd at the end phase and then OTK'd next turn. And then I believe it was against at Ignister as well that Nibiru won me the match pretty much. You wipe their board and then just OTK next turn, Kaiju the token, and then just go from there. That's it for the monsters, guys. So let's move on to the spells. So moving on to the spells, of course, the staple in Grand Maju, the 3 pop desires, our fuel for the Maju, our draw power, 3 pots. We're playing the 3 trade-in. We're playing tons of level 8s, guys, so you'll always have something to discard, whether it's a danger, an alpha, one of the kaijus. Remember, this card is not once per turn, so if you manage to draw 2 and you've got like 2 level 8s in hand that you don't need, you can drop them and then just draw those 4 cards during your turn. So that's what's really good about this card. We're playing the 1 card destruction. This card's been honestly really good to me in this build. It's won me matches, whether you believe it or not. The other day I had a Grand Maju in hand. I had 0 cards banished. And it was like turn 5, turn 6 into the duel. So I drew card destruction for turn, dropped it, discarded the Maju, drew 1 card, and it happened to be alpha. So my opponent controlled more cards than I did. So I dropped the alpha and then I swung into one of his monsters, and then that was basically took the life points he had left. So it's won me 2-3 matches. So the 1 card destruction. It's also good to like just restart your hand and then hopefully nuke your opponent's combo if he's managed to draw into it. We're playing the 3 Kaiju Slumber. This card's really good, basically. Destroy as many monsters as possible on the field and then summon a Kaiju with different names to each side of the field. That's why we're playing 7 Kaijus. We're playing obviously the 3 Dust Kaiju, 3 Turtles, and the 1 Fire one. So you always want to take the strong one and give your opponent the weaker one. So you can activate this and then summon a Kaiju to each side of the field, and then you can only control 1 Kaiju. So what I tend to do is I get my Kaiju and then I try and overlay him to go into an XYZ, so you no longer control a Kaiju. So if you've got another Kaiju in hand, you can drop it, and that's just an extra body because your opponent already controls that Kaiju you gave him. So 3 Kaiju Slumber is honestly really good, and when it's engraved, you can banish it and then add a Kaiju to hand, so you will always have a Kaiju in hand, trust me. For our back row hate, we're playing standard the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and the 1 Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters is really good. You guys know I'm more of a Cosmic Cyclone guy, but Twin Twisters we can discard. We can discard one of our dangers. Gizmek Orochi is also quite a good discard, as you can basically activate him from grave as well, so it doesn't really hurt you. So 2 back rows hate. We're playing the 1 Raigeki. I mean, the card's really good. We know why it's at 1. So basically, you nuke your opponent's board monsters without any cost. We're also playing the 1 Called by the Grave, which honestly I might switch out because there wasn't a time where like I really had to resolve it. Even if you get hand trapped like Ash and stuff, you still have stuff to keep playing through and like to draw cards. And then Called by the Grave, I mean, the 1 copy, when I managed to draw into it, there wasn't anything like, oh, I really need Called by the Grave, or I'm really going to banish that. So, I mean, I might switch it out, but it was in the build, so I'm showing you the deck exactly how it was when I topped this past weekend. So, 1 Raigeki, 1 Called by the Grave. We're playing the 1 Monster Reborn, just to bring back an extra body, bring back a level 8, and then just go into another XYZ. We're playing 3 Super Poly. Just, again, another just way to get rid of your opponent's monsters. We're kind of playing like a Super Poly target for almost everything in the extra deck. So 3 Super Poly. And then for the last 2 cards in the deck, we're just playing 2 trap cards, which of course has to be Infinite Impermanence. If you don't have Infinite Impermanence, which honestly you should by now, just change it up for Forbidden Chalice, which basically does the same thing, except your opponent's monster gets boosted by 400, which can also work for you to summon that Alpha. If the attacks then become higher. You can also use Forbidden Droplet, which is also really good, as you can discard your dangers. But I mean, I prefer Infinite Impermanence, as you can just drop it from hand during your opponent's turn if you're going second, and then if you set it, just negate the whole column. Alright guys, so moving on to the extra deck. As I said, we're playing a super poly target for almost everything, so it all depends on what your opponent's playing. So this is the lineup. We're playing 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Earth Golem, 1 Predaplant, 1 Starving Venom, 1 World Chalice, and this last one coming up, I don't see a lot of people playing it, but I have managed to summon it like at least once. I might switch it out honestly for something else because it's very like specific, but it's Ultimate Axon, basically a virtual world super poly target, as you require 1 Psychic type monster and 1 Synchro Psychic type. So it is very like specific for virtual world. So these are the super poly targets. The other half of the extra deck, it's all XYZs, as that's basically our win condition in this deck. Of course, we're playing the Dragoblion package, Numeron, with the Hope Harbinger. This OTK right here basically won me 4 matches this past weekend. You go into Dragoblion, you detach, and then go into Numeron. I've had a lot of people trying to negate Dragoblion, but what they forget is that he can't be targeted by card effects, so he can't be impermed and stuff like that. And then you can still resolve to go into Numeron. If they negate Numeron, then obviously, yeah, you're in a bit of a pickle. But if you do manage to resolve, that's your OTK right there. We're also playing the Galaxy package, the Photon, which is basically our Nibiru negate. So if you can't go into him, you can easily overextend as you can negate that Nibiru. We're playing the 1 Photon Dragon, basically a big beat stick, and again, detach and then pop a face-up card your opponent controls. And the 1 Cypher Blade, which I honestly never go into, because that's just risking it to overextend. But he does pop any card your opponent controls, which is quite good, but only really use it if you like really do need to. For our last 3 XYZs, we're playing the 1 Dingirsu, which honestly really good. Sends 1 card your opponent controls to the grave, and basically you can protect one of your cards from being destroyed. We're playing the 1 Zeus, so if you didn't manage to OTK that turn, main phase 2, go into Zeus, and then next turn when your opponent's comboing, just pop the entire field. And then we're playing last the Sky Prison. Basically, we know it's a graveyard format, so the Sky Prison prevents you or your opponent to special summon from the grave, so quite good this format. But I mean, I don't really go into it, as I always just manage to OTK. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck. I don't tend to show side deck in my builds, deck profiles, but for this one I feel like I have to, because it was like a winning deck, so I want to show you guys what I sided. It is all format dependent, and it depends on what people at your locals play, but I will show you what I side decked. So here's the side deck. The 3rd Nibiru, as I said, he won me matches. There's still a few combo decks out there, so you can never go wrong with Nibiru. I'm playing the 3 Ghost Spell, and then to add to the Ghost Spell, 2 Skullmeister for those graveyard effects. I'm playing 3 Denko. This is the card I honestly sided in the most. There's a few Altergeist players at my locals, so there's the Eldlich players. And this actually helped me win the match against Eldlich, as they made me go first. I sided him in, normal summoned him, and they went second, so they somehow didn't have an out to it, and then they basically couldn't set anything, so then next turn I basically just OTK'd. I'm playing the 1 Twin Twisters to add to the one we're already main decking, just for like extra back row hate. I'm playing the 3-Dimensional Barrier. There is a Pendulum player at our local, so I mainly just side deck this for like when I play against him. But it does still stop like XYZs and synchro summoning. So if you see the opportunity to main deck it, definitely do it, as it's still a really good card if they make you go first, of course. And then the last two cards are evenly matched. Evenly matched, I might take it out of the side deck and then just like switch it for something else. There wasn't like a situation where I was like, oh, I have to side in evenly match, or oh, I have to resolve it. I think I did side it in for like a match, and then I drew it turn one in my opening hand, but I didn't really need to resolve it. As I had enough dangers, I drew into Kaijus to just basically clear the board and then just OTK my opponent. So I didn't, as I said, I didn't like feel the need to like resolve it. So I might just switch it out. But I mean, the side deck, it's all basically format dependent and like your locals and what they play. That is it for my deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helps you out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Share it with your friends and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So thank you guys so much. Kaiba Lord out.